Love plus art equals wellness. Ashe, ashe. I don't know how long this will stay on because the front window is so hot it overheats my phone, and I sometimes have a hard time, I know, keeping it cool. So today I'm on my way to the water, and I had a few more things I wanted to talk about in reference to Independence Day, or you might even call this Independence Month, because France, Canada, Morocco, the US, and I guess about 12 others, not, I don't know if there may be more, but all claimed their independence within the month of July. So with that being the case, that's an interesting scenario. What is it that they all have in common with the month of July? Well, right now we're in an open gateway, starting somewhere around the 3rd, and I got two resources. One was Dr. Be Serious and one was Google. Dr. Be Serious said up until around the 9th is the peak period. Google says the gateway is open until the 20th. What I did was I looked up the Planet Sirius updates. I Googled that, and it gave me some tidbits on it. My last broadcast, I believe I talked about, and I continue to talk about, the Dogons have given us some updates on, things that we would not have known had they not shared them. They shared, like the stars themselves are Canis Major and Canis Minor or something like that, and cannabis, blah blah blah. They supposedly brought marijuana or cannabis to this rock, so that we would be able to free our mind of all of the matrix noise, enough to hear signals that were being transmitted or communicated two-way, one-way, whatever, to receive instructions. Now, recently, I've come into the knowledge of some further pieces of the puzzle, of the pie, that I want to put into position for you. One is in reference to Sirius A. Oh, wow. I am, guess what? I'm a ninja. Touch not thy anointed. And to say things that aren't nice. I usually laugh at these things, so, you must be thinking I look attractive today. So I'll say, ooh, thank you for saying such a thing. I look like a weak, feeble potential to attack, but jump back, Jack. Paddywhack. But yeah, I have some more pieces to this puzzle that I want to put into place in reference to what they have revealed. I don't know. I feel like I'm being spoon-fed information, because I'm not really seeking it as much as it's seeking me. So I had heard some things. I wanted to research further, do my own research, and while doing my own research, because of what had come to me, I want to share that. So Sirius Major is apparently the mother star of our sun. So now that Sirius A, B, and C, the Orion's Belt, that is a part of what the Dogons refer to, and which is right now, Orion's Belt, Sirius A, B, and C, are lined up with the United States, or sorry, George Washington monuments. I was going to say the United States monument, but that's the U.S. Capitol that I would have, with the U.S. in front of it. So, but yeah, man. So right now, I think it was the 4th of July. It was on Independence Day, my last broadcast. So, and I spoke about, and this is my turn, I spoke about that there was an alignment that the Dogons were looking forward to, and it returns every 50 to 60 years, that it lines up that A, B, and C, the solar return of B, which takes about up to 60 years to realign, as in the solar return of it, or whatever return you want to consider it. Its cycle, its completed revolution, or orbit. So, okay, so that lines up with the timing of when Independence Day this year, or the month of independence, is lining up with, like, all over the world, there are planets, I'm sorry, there are countries that are declaring their independence this month. Now, I want to also say that I believe that Mother Earth is very fruitful and fertile at this time. I don't want to just, it's not just me, right? She's popping up all over the place. She got fruit popping up all over her bosom, all over her face, all over her body. You know, the largest pores of our body are on the exterior, in our, the largest organ of our body, in the pores, is your skin. And so her skin is just popping out all over the place, all this fruitful greenage, you know, wherever she's having her private summers, you know, which we consider our private summers. And in that language, you're thinking of, we're speaking of someone who's having a hot flash, you know. And so right now, the Earth is having a hot flash because, to be very honest, when those planets line up, first off, the white dwarf, I believe that's Sirius B, is excreting, or not excreting, is shining extra phenomenal amounts of UV rays, bouncing it into what is being absorbed as the sunshine is shining her rays. So that amps up that ray voltage to, you know, new levels right now, up until the 20th of this month, according to a couple of resources, right? But it doesn't it feel like it's hotter than July? It's hotter than our normal Julys at this point. And the sun is a lot more, you get a lot more white light right now. Remember, we talked about, I don't know if you guys talked about it, but I had heard talk, and I had mentioned that I felt like, as of the solar eclipse, which, man, if I start running away with all the blurbage that's in my head that relates to where I am on the subject was, okay, I'm gonna stop right now. I'm gonna read what the heck is going on here. Tupac is the best rapper of all time. Blah blah blah. Please, mommy. Okay. I don't know how to take any of that. I don't know. You guys. I have no idea. Okay. Please, mommy. Does that mean preach? Does that mean speak, mommy? Like, does that mean, like, precious mother love, you wanted something? I'm gonna take it that way. How about that? So, but what I was saying is that, okay, so I talked about the Dogon's ritual that they do called the sigil, and it's no L at the end, but the U and the I after the G. I think it's a U and I, or it's just a U and I. Anyway, that makes the sound U, and it, you know, kind of hard to cut it off and not sound L-ish at the end. Sigil, because the I rolls. So anyway, that particular ceremony for them is when they send their youth off into the wildlands, the badlands, the backlands, the backwoods, into the mountains for a you know, for their processing into their manhood. I want to call it a ritual. What do you call that when you elevate the person? I had done it myself at some point. Anyway, so when you have this pilgrimage, or this, you know, elevation into manhood, or, you know, into a certain sector or circle of the tribe, the village, the community. So they are going out there to face and to balance with their natural innate with the external nature, which in that case, it's said, as far as the Dogons, there's a story about the Amam or Aman or something of another planet mating with this planet, which is Earth, and that when that time happened, they produced some offspring. The offspring was a little, it was half and half animal, half human, and so they're going out into the wilderness to merge their halves so that they can be balanced and proceed in a mature, wiser, balanced, harmonious way. So the basic things that I wanted to talk about today was how I'm pulling all that in. I mean, if it lines up with our monument, and it also lines up with their landscape, their horizon, their mountains that they look for it to be positioned with. If it lines up in DC that way, because remember, I live in Washington DC, and it is it is a city on the grid, and there are ley lines. Gosh, why am I stopped in this place? This is like because there's a orange sign saying that there's road work going on, so got to see that sign. But in the meantime, doggone it, I'm gonna be at a standstill. I got people waiting on me. Well, I guess I projected the right time, because I did give myself like a 15-minute window of extra cushion so that I could gauge for this potentially. Must have been. So anyway, so Mama Earth, Mama Gaia is in heat at the moment. This is the next full moon is called a buck full moon, and it's interesting that we call, keeping it 100, keeping it a buck. But keeping it 100 is going to be, some high heat days because of that extra boost from the white dwarf star combining with the energy of what's now in our sun's atmosphere range. What the sun and this star are producing together is more of a bright white light, which is what I talked about before. But that buck moon also lets me think about, how in the summertime, men are more frisky in the summer. Yes, women are wearing less coverage because of the temperatures, so are men. I saw a couple fellas running around with no shirt on, and yes, I did look, because 2 out of those 3 was in pretty good shape. So I did observe that they like to wear less clothes like we do, right? It's hot outside. So anyway, let's go, fellas. Don't let me have to beep at you. Move it along. Beep, beep. So anyway, here we go. I'm moving. So I don't know if you hear the sound of the blowing of the AC in the background. That was kind of good. That I did turn it on in advance, so it's not too hot for my phone. It's not cutting off at the moment. But yeah, in the summertime, it is the time when, the eyes roam and wander, and, you get hot and bothered a little bit, or you might get aroused, or, it might be more easily, you might be able to get more easily aroused because of the fact that, folks are out here flaunting it and sharing it and showing it. And, it's time to be at the beach and the pool, and, nobody wears, well, there are people that wear cover-ups, but it's a pretty good view when you're at a pool or a beach. You can body wash. And, hey, that's just a part of the passing of the time that, might happen in those particular places, poolside, or, okay, here's a smoother roadway. They're working on the road. Isn't that funny? That was pretty rough and rugged, bumpity. So yeah, so the buck moon is in Capricorn this month, and it was actually in Capricorn last month. So those 2 Capricorns, one in the month of, well, it could be Cancer and Gemini, but the way it works out this month for Cancer, 2 days after Cancer, I believe, is the beginning of the next, and I think that's Leo. Am I correct in that? I think that's correct. But in any case, I just wanted to share a few more tidbits that I'm putting into position that happen to go along with, that Dogon information, that Sirius star information, that white dwarf information, that lining up with the monument, lining up with their mountains, not lining up when they do their situ, lining up with the Independence Day all over the globe. It's like 20 different Independence Days that are throughout the month. The first is Canada. The 4th is the U.S. The 14th is France. This is of July. And there are a tremendous amount of satellites and shuttles and space launches that are going on during this time. So, just like they did during the solar eclipse, which again, I didn't get back to some information I wanted to share about that, which that being on the date that it is, I looked up passages in the Bible that were, I think, Philippians and John's and numerous other of the books in the Bible. I looked up that particular passage, the date for that last solar eclipse, and it seemed like it lined up really well with the season that we need to be in. It's interesting to know that, because the Farmer's Almanac is date oriented. Let's just say, what about if some of these dates line up with some stuff that's in the Bible? Never associated it with that myself before. Perhaps that's something that other people know about that I just never paid much attention to. But again, like I said, I'm pulling together these pieces, these parts, these new pieces of the puzzle, the pie, or whatever. I'm really, really feeling like I'm getting flooded with some information that I'm going to have to sit down and really wrap my mind around it, because, along with me talking about the inside voice, hey, what's happening, man? How y'all doing out there? Love plus art equals wellness. Precious mother love. So that inside voice reminds me of how, on the rock and roll records, when they did that backwards thing, how they would plan it. So that would be, instead of me exhaling while I speak, that's actually, if I'm speaking in reverse, it's while it's coming from the inside. Am I supposed to be turning? It looks like I'm supposed to be turning right here. Okay, I'm turning. I'm on time. Oh yeah, I'm on time and in time and all that good stuff about time. And that's another thing, time is changing. Things are speeding up faster. The manifestations are happening faster. Right now we're in if you know what a Lion's Gate is, that's on 11/11 and I think 8/8. So I believe that, this, I won't say Lionsgate, this gateway, that's what it is. This gateway is wide open for the month of July. So you guys, plant your seeds, do your energetic work. I will be doing a full moon. There's a change of plans. There's a change of location. It was going to be poolside. It still will be poolside, but it's going to be a lot smaller of a pool. But that's still fine, because we're going to have the singing bowls. This is on the 21st, Sunday the 21st of July, which is the day after when they say the window is the widest. How about that? It's not totally closed, because, it ramps up and it clamps down. So it's not totally closed, but it is definitely a window, a door, an opportunity, a vortex. It is definitely, the gateway is wide open. The gates of heaven or hell, depending on what you do with it, because you unknowingly plant some seeds of some negative energy. Energy is not a respecter of person. It is not a good or a bad thing. It's what you do with the energy. Again, I say that often enough. When I suck in, I breathe in that chi energy, that prana at the same time. So if I am exhaling, I'm not exhaling any chi or prana when I exhale. I'm using that when it goes in. That's that energy. That's energizing my body. So what I would say is that when I'm actually breathing in the chi, the prana, the energy is coming in, then I should be energizing what I am intending, attending. That should be part of the magic. That should be part of where we're, that's an untapped, to me, that's an untapped reservoir of energy. Now, you don't want to talk all the time and use all your chi up, because it is for energizing your body, right? So, but I do think in terms of how all these things come together, there is a connection where I'm drawing the arrows to go this way in that dot, so that you can swirl around that primordial swirl, circle in those waters. I've really started to feel like the waters are where the energy was left when the swine went in. I know, where do I go with that? But let me just say, when they troubled the swine, when they threw that energy into the swine, that made that swine prime meat at that point. It had to overcome the story of being the worst cut or the worst food to eat. Like, and even though it went through, everything from chitlins to hog maws, which I think is the jaw, pig feet. We ate the whole thing, rooted to tutor. And then it went, the bad news went away. They pumped it up a little bit as the other white meat, and then they pumped it up a little later. Bacon has never decreased. It's always increased. It is like one of the biggest commodities on the market to market. So it just is kind of like a story to me that I would see as being, one where they overcome the stigma that was thrust upon them. It was thrust into their beings, and then supposedly thrown off a cliff. And then what happened when they got in the water? The waters got troubled, but it just means it energized the water, and it's and the energy again at that point when it's no longer in that host. It, whether it's good or bad, is only upon the user, the person who uses it. It makes that determination. So Mama Gaia's waters she's, there's a lot of storms going on. She's starting to overflow her boundaries. There are a lot of different natural phenomena that are going on where we're seeing indications of, how far do I have to go? Oh, shucks. I think I might have passed it. I knew I was close. Talking too much to my folks. Well, One Love and Wellness family, folks, friends, and fans. Love+Art equals wellness. I don't even think I said season 5 heart happy hour. I didn't even say that part in the beginning, but I'm on my way to the water. I guess I'll let you guys see me once I get to the water. Have some folks that I'm picking up on the way, and I'll have a few more tidbits of things to bring together and bring into light. So sorry I'm having to be abrupt, but the fact is I missed my turn, so I must have needed a little extra time to talk to my fans, my folks, my family, my friends. One Love and Wellness, you guys. Meet with you soon. See you soon. Thanks for joining me. Precious mother of love. I see you next time in about an hour. Ashe. Ashe.